you are planning your trip to Walt Disney World, and if you're like me, when I was planning my early trips to the most magical place on earth, you want them to be perfect. Now, my first trips that I planned to Walt Disney World on my own were always great, but they were definitely not perfect. It wasn't until I changed one specific thing about how I was planning that took my trips from great to the best trips ever here at Walt Disney World. That's the story this week.
Welcome to this happy place. Welcome.
Welcome back to the Bear's Den. Okay, listen, planning a trip to Walt Disney World is a lot of pressure. I know, I've planned lots of them, and it's really easy to just put an incredible amount of pressure on planning your trip. You want so much for everything that you have planned to go just right during the time that you're here, and on top of that, you have a finite amount of time here, right? Like, your time at Walt Disney World is limited. So you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I plan everything that I need to plan, and how do we pack in as much as we can get done for the time here at Walt Disney World so that you can plan the best trip possible? And so you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure to try to plan the most, to get the most out of your time, to really be able to do everything and see everything possible while you're here. And so in this video, it is actually my goal to try to help take some of that pressure off of your planning and your time while you're here at Walt Disney World. And I am going to do that by sharing that one thing that I started doing in planning my trips to Walt Disney World. But before I get into that, I actually want to talk about the different ways and styles that you can plan your trip to this place. Because in my opinion, there are actually only a very few actual planning styles that you can have for a visit to Walt Disney World. I think I'm gonna go try to watch Nemo, because it should be just about time for the first show. And also Nemo's incredible. And I never get to watch it when I'm here with my child, because she just screams through the whole thing. She's not old enough to watch it yet. So I'm gonna go watch Nemo. I thought Nemo was about to start soon, but it's not. I got an hour. The first show, what time is it? It's 10:12. The first show is at 11. I really want to watch Nemo today. So I think I'm going to hang around here until it's time for Nemo. But while we're hanging around and we're waiting for Nemo, we can chat about the first style of planning your trip to Walt Disney World. Okay, style number one of planning your trip to Walt Disney World is what I call the plan every single minute of every single day type of planning. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you are the type of person where you are sitting down and you are planning down to the minute of every single day that you are inside of a Walt Disney World theme park, what it is that you are doing, where you are, what attraction you're riding, what character you're meeting, what you're eating, where you're eating, literally you just know every single minute of every single thing that you're planning to do. Now, quick disclaimer about these things: I am not passing judgment or saying whether or not these planning styles, well, except for one. I'm going to let you know. There's one that I'm going to be don't do this one. You'll know that one in a minute. But I'm not really going into depth in these planning styles. I just want to kind of give you what those planning styles are, a little bit about them. So that's the every single minute of every single day planning style that you can have when you're planning to come to Walt Disney World. Okay? Got it? On to the next. We're still waiting for Nemo. Planning style number two. The second, real planning style here at Walt Disney World is simply what I call go with the flow. So this is very much it's a plan, but it's a loose plan, right? This isn't a plan where it's that first style where you have every single minute of every single day planned. Is very much stick to the schedule. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. Move. Go with the flow is very much we have a plan. We know that we're going to a park on this day. We know which park we're going to on that day. We kind of know that we want to make sure we do these things. We know that we're going to eat table service, quick service at a certain part of the day, but we're not really stuck to, this is where we're eating and this is the attraction we're doing. It's very go with the flow. Very just, it's a plan to just have less of a plan. Simple. This is my favorite way to plan. Reason being, I'm not the type of person that's like, let's plan every single minute of every single day. Like, I just want to show up and enjoy the parks and go through them. So this is my favorite way to plan, but that's go with the flow. That's the second planning style here. Cool. All right. So let's talk about that last planning style. And this is the one that I am going to beg you do not do. Please don't do this one. This is the last planning style that I see that I'm like, this is the biggest mistake that you can make. And that is the, we don't need a plan. No, listen, you need a plan. You need to show up with some sort of plan, just any semblance of a plan, but you need a plan. You have to understand, like, I have been here at this park with people that I love dearly, with relatives and friends that are greatest people that I know in the world, and they don't have a plan for the day, and I'm just like, well, what are we doing? And the most frustrating thing about not having a plan, honestly, comes when it's time to eat. That's when the most frustrating time happens. Because when you have a group of people who haven't planned even just what they are going to eat that day, then it comes time to actually go eat something, everyone turns into the most indecisive person in the world. Just plan a little bit, just a little bit of a plan. Don't be the person that shows up like, we can just do this without a plan. No, you're at Walt Disney World. There's a lot to do. You need some sort of plan. So now that we've talked about those planning styles, I'm gonna go watch Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, and then we'll talk about that one specific thing that you need to change while you're planning so that you can really have your best trips ever here at Walt Disney World. Got out of Nemo, and the morning, it was the 11 o'clock show, is the first show of the day. So it's about 11:30 now because it's about a half-hour show. And so my day here at Animal Kingdom is done, but we still have to talk about that one thing that I promised I would tell you guys, like that one thing to help you plan better. We're gonna talk about that, but let's talk about it at home in the office where we could sit down and really go through it. So I'll just go ahead and like flip us there real fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Let's just get that right. There we go. Okay. And we're here. We're back home in the office. As you can see, we're not at Animal Kingdom anymore, but we're here. And we're here to talk about, finally, that one thing that you need to start doing to just take the pressure off of your planning and all of the pressure off of your actual trip to Walt Disney World. And that is to set better expectations that you're not going to get everything done, and you're not even going to get everything that you want to do done. When I started planning my trips with this expectation set, that I wasn't going to try to do everything, and that even there were going to be things that I planned to do or that I wanted to do that I wasn't going to actually get to experience, I started having my absolute best trips ever to Walt Disney World. And this is actually a video that I have thought about and wanted to make for a very long time, because I see so many people make this mistake of trying to plan absolutely everything that they can into their trip because they want to get absolutely everything that Walt Disney World has done, and it's just not possible. Remember, and I'm gonna read this because I want this to sink in, but remember, 47 square miles, 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, 150 acres of just shopping and dining at Disney Springs, over 50 attractions, shows, fireworks, tours, literally, you name it, Walt Disney World has it. So this is going to be something that you start hearing from me a lot more, that you need to set better expectations to how much you are actually going to experience and accomplish and get done while you are here on your trip to Walt Disney World. So stop planning to do everything. Start planning to do the things that absolutely mean the most to you. And then set your expectations that sometimes even those things aren't going to happen. I promise you that running and rushing through 4 theme parks here at Walt Disney World to try to get in absolutely everything that this place has to offer is not as much fun as slowing down just a little bit and really taking in and enjoying the attractions, the characters, the shows, and the dining experiences that are highest on your must-do list. And if you want to see my absolute top 10 must-do list at Walt Disney World, you can check out the video that's on the screen right now. And remember, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow.